invited here to share my experience with this device. So, LAmbre is a two-component system. So, this part is what I call umbrella. This is the cover. Umbrella is used to anchor the device in the appendage, and this is for sealing. Okay, the device has already received CE, CMPA. Now we have more than 3,000 implants globally. Also, it has the smallest delivery sheet, so only 10 French for 36 millimeter device. So this is the video. I'll show you a video during deployment. During deployment, there are only two steps. The first step is to position the sheet at the proximal part of the appendage, and then you push out the umbrella. And when the umbrella is pushed out, you see these small hooks engaged in the appendage wall. This umbrella will be stented against the appendage wall, so it causes some stabilization. But the most important stabilizing mechanism is this rolling in of the second cell cloth, okay, into pectoral muscles. And then after that, you just unsheath the break out the cover. Okay? And if you are not happy with your initial position, you just pull on the delivery cable, and this umbrella will be enfolded, and all the hooks you see will be going into the reverse image. So it's fully recapturable. So this is just a diagram showing you the anchoring mechanism I mentioned. But I think the most important thing is the mechanism I said, pattern trapping. So that in a lot of cases, we don't need to choose a very big trap. But you still found the device is very stable because it's being rolled into the pectoral muscle. Like I always set an example, like when you are doing breaststroke swimming, and then there are some seaweeds. So the mechanism is that the seaweeds, you imagine these are pectoral muscle. When you swim, you like this, and then you crawl inside the seaweed. So if you pull in this direction, it will even get more stable. So the only way to untangle it is to do the reverse maneuver. So if you swim and then you're in the pectoral muscle, then the only way to go out is like that. So you only can lodge the device by recapturing instead of just pull on the cable. And in order to have more versatile function close to the appendage, so we figure out this special type of LAmbre device where you can tell the cover is much bigger than the umbrella. For example, here is where the landing zone is. Right, when you measure it, this is the circumflex. You have to put the umbrella 100% beyond this line. This landing zone is just give you a very crude reference. You are not actually putting the device. If let's say here is the landing zone, I put the device here, then part of the hooks are sticking out. So this in-sucking force will be less, so the sealing will be less often. Like because this is a cover design, a rubbish bin, so you have to make sure all the rubbish is actually within the bin, then the cover will be nicely covered up still. So make sure if you think here is the landing zone, then the umbrella is 100% beyond this landing zone. How can we tell this is the landing zone? Yeah, you're right, this is the circumflex, so this is a marker for telling you where is the line that you should draw. This special type, I came up with this idea because I started doing appendage closure for tuning devices, and there are cases where you have multiple loops, and the loops, one of the loops actually having a very proximal opening, and also in these cases we tend to select a bigger watching devices, and hopefully with more compression, then you end up with closing here as well. But in some cases, I found it really difficult. There are some leaks in the lower end, so I thought maybe we should try to have this special design. So put a smaller umbrella, but the cover is more big like this going upward. Of course, you put it here, then it's more parallel and close better. But if the appendage is going in this dimension, okay, and then of course lower look better. So it very much depends on the orientation, the angle of the opening you try to close. So here comes the problem, because you have so many different configurations. So you have this regular design, so from 16 to 36, and the cover is few millimeter larger, and then you have this very special design where the cover is much larger, so you have a lot of options. So I think selection sometimes is very difficult for beginners, but the implantation procedure is really very simple. So there are two ways to implantation techniques. This is where you mentioned, so this is a landing zone. After pigtail injection, do LA angiogram, I measure here, and then put the delivery system here. I don't have to go in, and then push out, so this umbrella will come up 100% beyond this line. And then the second step is that I just unsheath the device, and then I do an angiogram, okay, to make sure this is nicely sealed. And the second way is where I suspect the patient might have thrombus, or they have a dense echo sac in the appendage. For this device, it also has this ability of partially opening the umbrella outside the appendage, where distal part becomes atraumatic. Then you can, through angio guidance, or I would prefer not to use angio if you suspect thrombus. I would just use echo. Like mitral kit, you have echo on fast view, and then you just rotate your sheath, and then you can go to the ostium of the appendage. And then when you are here, you continue to push the cable to deploy the umbrella without touching the distal part, and then you just unsheath. Okay, so this is a 1-5 technique. I think this is relevant for cases like that. You really cannot tell by any means whether there's any small thrombus here. So of course nowadays we have cerebral protection device. Is it available here as well? Sentinel device. Like if you want to try these cases, sometimes if you have Sentinel device, then you can put a filter, double filter in the neck vessels, and then protect the patient from developing stroke during the procedure. So this is the angiogram of measurements. I think for Watchman implant, you only measure this line. Basically, everybody knows how to do. But for LAmbre, because you have additional cover, so that's why I also try to measure another one. This is what we call landing zone. This is called ostium. If this tube diameter is more than 10 millimeter, okay, I understood I have to select this special device. Because you know that if it's like 23, you select 26 device, then the corresponding will be 32, okay, because it's 6 millimeter larger. So if you choose a device that's regular, then it should be okay. But for example, if here is 23, here is 34, you know that if I choose 26, the cover is only 32, so you're not able to cover the ostium nicely. And we have put 2 markers here for calibration in the delivery sheet. So just in case, which DSA system you're using here? Philips or Siemens? GE, okay. GE then, because there are a few ways to do these measurements. You can use the calibration for the sheet size. Sometimes I find the errors could be quite big, so I use the distance for calibration. TE is also very nice because you're doing Watchman. They rely a lot on TE. Okay. So this is just a way to tell. For example, if this is 23, you might select a device that's 2 to 6 millimeter larger, and you put the device actually beyond this area. And how you select the oversizing? Sometimes a lot, sometimes less. It very much depends on the distal volume. If you have, because you're not putting the devices here, you're putting the device distal to this line. If you have a broccoli type of appendage, of course you can oversize more because there are a lot of distal room. Okay. If you're a weak saw, then of course maybe 2 millimeters large. Sometimes also depends on how big this is. because if the ostium is bigger, then of course you want to choose a slightly bigger umbrella. The associated cover will be bigger. Okay. So this is the concept I mentioned. In general, 2 to 6 millimeter larger than the landing zone. There are cases where you might consider more oversizing, like +8 or sometimes even +10. And then you have to select a special device. I have this criteria, I will talk about it. So this is where you need a lot of oversizing, like you have a large distal LA volume, like chicken wing, broccoli, you can always oversize more. And if you have a large opening, large landing zone, you might need to oversize more as well. Let's do this slide. This is the concept of mold. So these two appendages, I mentioned this concept already. These two appendages, the landing zone is just the same, 20. Okay. But the ostium is different. One is 24, one is 33. So here the difference is more than 10 millimeters. So you have to go straight to select a special device in order to better cover the ostium. And based on experiences, then you know this old concept. Why is called old? Because ostium landing zone discrepancy. So OLD, just call it old anatomy. Okay. Initially, this was designed to put it in a bio anatomy, but these are the case where you have cases like having a very small appendage inside and then very big. Right? You have this blue line landing zone. This is all arbitrary. It depends where you want to put the device, because you can basically put the device anywhere with pectinate muscle. You get trapped there and it's very stable. So you can try it in bilobe, small appendage, big appendages. If you put in really distal, then this cover will be drawn a lot inside, concave. Okay, or even shallow appendage like this. I have a case to show you. And to deploy the device is very simple. Do an angiogram, you put the sheet at the landing zone, you push. When you push out, you see this rolling out of these claws into pectinate muscles. And then you make sure the whole fin is beyond the circumflex, and then you just unsheath the brain out. And then you do a tuck test. You can do an echo to check the ceiling. If it's okay, then you just release it. So it's very simple. But this is a case I did as a live case 1 year ago. So very funny anatomy. So we did a microclip, and then afterwards we changed to a smaller sheet for appendage closure. So in this case, you see this very funny, a lot of funny lobes here. So at that time, I thought maybe we can use this special device, because here is 21, here is 37, so it's bigger than 10 millimeter. So I choose one device that's 26, and this is 38. So this is how the procedure was performed. So see, we do angiogram, and then we put the device in the upper lobe, and we push the cable. So the umbrella was open. There you see here, this is the radio opaque marker, and this is the umbrella. So how do you know the umbrella is fully open? Is when you push out this radio opaque marker out of the system, and then this marker together with the lower end of these claws are at the same line. Then you know the umbrella is open very nicely. Then you can start to unsheath the device. See, these claws will probably get trapped in the muscle. So this is, and then you do a tuck test to make sure it is stable. Then you can just close and release the device. This is the case I shared with your colleague just early this morning. So obviously this is very shallow appendages. Pigtail is 10 millimeter, so I think here is around 7 millimeter depth. So if you put in a regular device where it has like 10 millimeter length, it's basically impossible. So that's why I see here there's a pectinate muscle. So that's why I put a small umbrella here, and then with a big cover, we're able to close this very big ostium. So this is how it was done. So I put a small umbrella inside, and then this rolled into the patine, and this still hanging outside. So then I do a very rigorous tuck test. You see how I do very rigorous tuck test, but inside still is very stable because of active trapping. Even you pull it like this, then it's going to become even more stable, and then I can release it. Okay. So this is a case I did with horse civet, I think 2 years ago. There's a case we suspect distal thrombus in the appendages. Maybe there's some thrombus here or pachymeninx muscle, it's not sure. And for this case, you see the landing zone here is quite small. This is ostium is very big. So that's why we decided to do a special modified technique with a special device. So this is the device. You have a very small umbrella, but very big cover. So this is made by partially opening of the umbrella, so the distal tip is intraumatic. So I think this, and then we open the umbrella outside the appendages, and then we, based on 3D echo, we just rotate your sheet and then bring the device to the ostium, and then we change to 2D explain, that give you 2 views, and then with a bit of rotation, this go into the landing zone, and then I continue to push the cable. You see the thrombus is still distal, so I didn't touch it at all. So at the landing zone, I fully deploy the device. You see this radio opaque marker separating 2 devices coming out, and then I unsheath to bring out the cover. And then because at the beginning I know that this is an old anatomy, so I need a bigger cover. So that's why now I think it's very safe just to do contrast injection. This is a case, I just published this case report in JACC Intervention, so it's very big appendages. This is 47, wow, it's really big. Even the CT, some view gives you like 52 measurements, so it's very big appendages. And from the echo, even like echo is 43, it's really big. So we decide to try it with pre-made device like 40 device. At the beginning we tried to do a 3D printing testing. We used the biggest device, 36, and then they're still having a big gap, very big gap. And then pre-made device, so tailor-made device, still it's not going to work. This is 40mm device, so then we decide maybe we can try putting 2 devices. And luckily this patient, because the ostium is so big, even we put in 2 devices, it's not touching the vein and it's not touching the microbiome. So this is a huge appendage. We put in the biggest LAmbre device, still had a big leak in the bottom end. So we have a separate transeptal puncture, and then we put in 2 devices. So you see the ostium still up very nice. And then we do a test that is very stable. Then we release. It's very stable. Okay. And then I think today I need to stress some of the device release criteria. So we mentioned some of them before. So I call this cost criteria. The first one is that we have to make sure this umbrella is beyond this landing zone, imaginary landing zone. Okay. And the second thing is I always mention is the importance of fully open the umbrella. Okay. So why is that? It's a pacifying principle. It's like a baby doing pacifying. If you cannot open this very nicely like this rope to the bottom, the ink-sucking force will be less. So the sealing effect will be less optimal. So then you may have the leak at the edge. This is very important. And S means that you have a leak less than 3mm. T means that you do a tuck test to make sure stability. So if you have all this, then you're able to release the device. So you don't need to check for compression as such, because for this device, as I said, if you get trapped in the magnetic muscle, it's very stable, so you don't need to check for compression. And this is a fully opened umbrella. You see this radial peak marker here, this is the lower end. They are nearly at the same level. By doing that, the insetting force will be better, and then you will have better seal. Because why I have to emphasize that there's also another safety concern. Because you see a fully open umbrella is covered membrane parts in touch of the umbrella. This is good. If you open the umbrella partially like this, and then you just unsheath to bring out the cover, this will also get trapped somehow in the package. And it is still stable, but once you release the cable, maybe the cover will just fall outside. You have a big leak, and also I think this will be associated with more infusion because you are actually having the metal part keep touching the package. So this is the example. This is a very nicely opened umbrella. You see, then this insucking force causing very nice seal of the cover. This is not yet fully opened umbrella. You just open partially and then you just unsheath. And you see that there's a leak going in from here after you release the cable. And this is actually not good. Why it would happen is that you try to deploy the umbrella very distal to the appendage. You see here, distal is very small space. You try to push, the umbrella cannot go down already. So you have to, you see there's a big distance between the radial opaque marker and the lower end of this umbrella at the end. So then the patient will end up with some leak. I don't think that's good. So in order to improve that, you have to really deploy the device very proximal. That's the beauty of the device. Okay? So if you swimming, you take a breaststroke, you cannot do it at the edge of the pool. You need to have some distance so your hands can go up and complete this rolling of the appendage. Okay. So this is another way that I do this procedure nowadays, mostly without PE. Just do it under local anesthesia because you see most of these cause criteria I mentioned are basically fluoroscopic and geographic criteria. So with more experiences, sometimes we don't want anesthesia, we don't want PE, then we do this procedure just under fluoroscopic guidance. So to do that, first you have to select a very right transeptal puncture site that help you to get coaxial to the appendage. The way I usually do is LAO30, where you can clearly see this line, 90% of the case, because here you have a lot of pericardial fat. So if you do a fluoroscopy, you will see this white tissue line here. And then sometimes you will see also here is LAD, so you see LAD groove fat. So with these two lines, you already know the appendage is here. So pull down your needles. If it is here, you know it's too high, so you have to go pull it down, and then you know this is an appendage. And most of the time, this needle will drop anterior, so this is anterior. Then you have to clockwise rotate your needle, so it comes from 2 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then you puncture, then you are in the appendage. This is a very reliable way of make sure your puncture site is correct. Sometimes if you are not sure whether it is correct, the dilator go through, you use wire. The wire go with the system, and then you try to go up, and then you see the wire is like this, then you know you are correct. If you're not like that, then you can also do the puncture again. So for beginners, sometimes they are not very sure about fluoroscopic landmark. You can do a delayed base LA angiogram. I think this shows up very nice. For example, in this case, I put a pigtail in the LA. I do a contrast, and then contrast goes from pulmonary artery back to the LA. So I do LA angiogram in 2 views. One is LA 40, and this is LAO. So this is the atrioventricular groove I mentioned. So at the end of this groove, you know this is the appendage. this is the appendage, and then you can, and for extra safety, you can consider putting the pigtail in the aorta. So just highlight where is the aorta, and then you do the puncture like in the LAO, so it always goes to this direction. In LAO, you try to aim your needle more like to the 12 o'clock. You go through it, then it's very safe. It's very safe. And then of course after puncture, you can just do angiogram. You just deploy the device, measure the landing zone, measure the ostium, choose the right device, and then just bring out the cover, and then you assess the leak by angiogram. If there's the edge, look at the edge. If the edge, there's no leak, then basically this is a job well done. So I published my experience in jet intervention last year with some of the German cases. So we just do it at a local, no TE, and we have all had TE follow-up at 3 months for this patient, and none of them actually had very severe infusion. I think it's reasonable. So now when I go to centers where operators are very experienced with other devices, like I think I've been in Indonesia a few months ago, so we do a few cases of just procedure done at the LA success. For interest of time, I just do a short summary. So the usual implantation technique and modified technique. So you can choose different techniques for different patients, and you have to know that for this device, sometimes you have to oversize it more. But the most important purpose is that to make sure the cover is big enough to seal the orifice. Okay? And you have to select special device when you have this discrepancy in ostium and landing zone measurements. And this cost criteria is very important. I think C is very easy, S and T is very easy. Most of the time people are a little bit confused about the O, what is opening. But I can show you when we do the device from outside, you know what is fully open. Right? And if you want to try it, just put it under LA without T. This is my center in Hong Kong. We just had an opening ceremony last month. So you're welcome to visit me when you come to Hong Kong.